Father's Day's the best. This is a little bust of a chihuahua, I think, dressed as a sailor, wearing a nice little hat. Kids, they're amazing. Thanks, sweetheart. Let's just put him over there with Rami. You two can keep each other company. Alright, today we are talking about mastering OSINT. I want to say you don't master OSINT, it masters you, but that sounds cryptic. First things first is make sure you know where OSINT fits into the wider Intel picture. OSINT isn't it, it's not the be all and end all. That's a subcategory of intelligence in general. OSINT is just one pillar. You've also got HUMINT, IMINT, SIGINT, MASINT, GEOINT, all the ints, and that makes up the whole Intel picture. Just remember that open source is just what's out there in the open. A lot of the time, it ain't the whole picture. Make sure you get your hands on the tools. No matter what you do for a living, there are new tools all the time. That's just the nature of the world. New hardware, new software, new websites, whatever it is. And in the Intel game, it's exactly the same. Now, if you've been here for a little while, you will know that I like to talk about tools because they're cool. They are. And the sponsor of today's video is no exception. It's Silo for Research by Authenticate, and it's a platform for digital investigative teams. It allows investigators to obfuscate their identity, protect themselves and their networks, all while keeping comprehensive audit logs. And the platform gives you access to anything, anywhere via a proactively monitored, managed attribution network. It's got the power of over 60 points of presence around the globe, so you can appear as an in-region visitor rather than some easily detectable VPN. Securely integrated tooling, automation, faster collection, real-time collaboration, and scalable audit logs. It's amazing. It's used by over 650 organizations, and 4 of the 5 largest tech companies in the world use it to manage their attribution and protect their networks. If you'd like to check out Silo for Research, there's a link below. I think you will love it. I'd also encourage anybody doing Intel work to really understand how the internet works. A lot of the information that we collect is on the internet, especially if you're in the OSINT game. And if you don't know how the internet works, you don't understand what can be spoofed, you don't know how to crawl websites, learning about things like DNSs and how to query them to find things like subdomains, all of that is super useful and relevant in the world of OSINT. Don't forget the intelligence cycle: direction, collection, processing, analysis, and dissemination. I've done a whole separate video on that. I'll leave a link below. You can Google your face off until you find that thing, but at the end of the day, if you can't disseminate the intelligence in a legible format and make it timely, then it doesn't matter. Maybe you're really interested in doing things like imagery analysis. Well, then you better make sure you know how cameras work. Things like EXIF data, f-stops, aperture size, depth of field, shutter speed, all that. And the same applies when you're analyzing video. And if you have a video file, you more often than not will have an audio file along with it. Do you know how to interrogate audio files? Do you know about playing with all the different equalizer settings and effects and things like that? Because you're gonna have to learn it. Do you know how to connect to a database? Maybe you've got access to a tool like Maltego for doing graph analysis, and you got access to a database, and you have to make those two tools talk to each other so that you can query the database from within Maltego. You know how to do it? You're gonna have to learn. Make sure you know about the traffic light protocol. You might have seen, secret, top secret, all this sort of stuff stamped on documents in the Bourne Identity. But the traffic light protocol, or TLP as it's called, is very common and it's much simpler to use. You can check that out. I've got another video on that. I'll leave a link in the description. Make sure you know about grading information. I've got another video about that. But basically, you can't trust everything that everyone tells you. You have to be able to grade it and rank people and other sources based on previous experience. And don't forget to read about other people doing great things in the world of intelligence. Like you got this book, the Bellingcat book by Elliot Higgins. Fantastic book for anybody getting into the Intel game. And I'll say this one again because this catches everybody out at some point. Security. Don't forget about security. If you're downloading stuff off of the internet, maybe you've joined some Discord group where people are trying to figure out where this video was taken, and you download some files, and little do you know, it's got malware inside of it, and now other people, maybe nation states, are digging around on your machine trying to find all the things that you're looking into. That's a very real threat. It happens all the time, so make sure you think about things like virtual machines, anti-malware, network segmentation, and all that stuff. And I'll leave you with one final point. The more you know, the easier a time you will have in the game of intelligence. Read, listen, watch, consume, and try and become as much of a scholar of the world as possible. All this Intel talk's got me worked up. I feel like I want to go and dig around online and see if I can find some juicy stuff. Yep, let's do it.